In Nigerian politics, when Olusegun Obasanjo moves, the ground shifts. This is a man who has toppled governments, built presidents, and broken alliances with the same hands. He does nothing without calculation. Every handshake carries a message. Every delegation carries a mandate. So when credible reports emerged that Obasanjo dispatched personal representatives to Sokoto State Correctional Facility to meet with Nnamdi Kanu, the detained leader of IPOB, the political class did not yawn. They leaned in. This was not a courtesy visit. This was not charity. This was Obasanjo making a move on the chessboard, and the entire country needs to understand what that move means, who it threatens, and what it could ultimately deliver. The man he sent, J.J. Omoba's stunning admission. The confirmation came from a Twitter post by J.J. Omoba, a figure reportedly connected to Obasanjo's inner circle. His words were brief but thunderous. He wrote that he and his colleagues represented OBJ in Sokoto, met with one of the most prominent inmates of Sokoto State Prison, that the meeting was fruitful, and that results of their efforts would become visible in the coming days. Read that again, fruitful, results in the coming days. These are not the words of someone who went to deliver a get-well card. These are the words of a negotiator, a political emissary, someone who walked into that prison with a brief, delivered it, and came out with something to show for it. The deliberate vagueness of most prominent inmate is itself a message, a wink to those who know, a plausible deniability for those who might react badly. Everyone knows who the most prominent inmate in Sokoto is. Everyone. So what was on the table? What did Obasanjo send his men to say? Timing is everything. Why this visit happened now? To understand the significance of this visit, you must understand the legal firestorm it walked into. Just days before Obasanjo's delegates made their way to Sokoto, the federal government filed a cross-appeal at the appellate court, and in doing so, made a jaw-dropping legal admission. In its own court documents, the FG effectively acknowledged that the trial court may have acted outside its jurisdictional boundaries when it sentenced Kanu to life imprisonment on multiple counts. In plain language, the government that put Nnamdi Kanu behind bars is now questioning the validity of the court that sentenced him. IPOB's legal team was quick to characterize this as a catastrophic self-inflicted wound, one that means the Court of Appeal cannot cure the damage because the foundational jurisdiction was compromised from the start. This is the legal environment into which Obasanjo sent his people. He did not send them during a quiet period. He sent them at the precise moment when Kanu's legal situation was simultaneously at its most dangerous and its most legally vulnerable for the government itself. That timing is not coincidental. Obasanjo read the landscape, identified an opening, and dispatched his team to explore it. What was discussed behind closed doors. While the specifics of the meeting remain private, the surrounding signals allow for informed analysis. Through his lawyer Ejimaka, Kanu formally accepted the cross-appeal filed by the federal government, essentially agreeing that the lower court lacked the jurisdiction it claimed. By embracing the government's own admission against it, Kanu's team is forcing the Court of Appeal into an uncomfortable corner, one where affirming the original sentence may require them to ignore the government's own submissions. Given this legal maneuver, Obasanjo's delegation likely served at least two purposes. The first was informational, briefing Kanu on the political temperature outside prison walls and the likely trajectory of the appeal proceedings. The second, and far more significant, was exploratory, testing the waters on a potential political settlement. This is where Obasanjo's unique position becomes critical. He is one of the very few Nigerians who can call President Tinubu, call the governors, call Southeast elders, and call international stakeholders all in the same afternoon. He is not a Biafra sympathizer in any ideological sense, but he is a pragmatist who understands that the continued detention of Kanu is a festering wound on Nigeria's democracy, its international image, and its internal security. If there is a deal to be struck, one where Kanu is released through a negotiated political framework without either side losing face, Obasanjo is perhaps the only man in Nigeria currently positioned to broker it. The daughter's defection. A calculated signal. What makes this story even more layered is what happened in the immediate aftermath of the delegation's visit. Obasanjo's daughter publicly departed the APC, the ruling party of President Tinubu. The timing, coming within roughly 24 to 48 hours of the Sokoto delegation, is difficult to dismiss as coincidence. In Nigerian political culture, family moves of this nature are rarely spontaneous. They carry messages. They signal shifts in loyalty, dissatisfaction, or strategic repositioning. Whether this was coordinated or organic, the optics are unmistakable. The Obasanjo camp is distancing itself from the current federal administration at precisely the moment it is reaching out to that administration's most prominent political detainee. If Tinubu's team was watching, and they always are, this sequence of events would read as a pressure move. Obasanjo is signaling that he is not a passive observer. He is actively engaged, politically mobile, and willing to create noise if the situation demands it. Obasanjo's public statement, reading between the lines. Simultaneously, Obasanjo made a public declaration that he was eager to read the late General Gowon's memo, a document in which the Biafran people and the Southeast question are reportedly referenced. He stated that if anything in that memo needed correcting regarding the people of the Southeast, he intended to correct it. This statement on its own would be notable. In the context of a secret delegation to Kanu, it becomes extraordinary. Obasanjo is publicly aligning himself with the narrative that the Southeast has historical grievances that deserve acknowledgement and resolution. He is not waving an IPOB flag, but he is saying, loudly enough for Abuja to hear, that the Southeastern question is legitimate, unresolved, and demands serious political attention. What comes next? J.J. Amoba said the results of the meeting would become visible in the coming days. That promise is now the most consequential sentence in Nigerian political discourse. Will it manifest as a renewed push for Kanu's release through the courts? Will it look like back-channel negotiations between Obasanjo and the Tinubu administration? Will it produce a coordinated statement from Southeast governors and elders calling for a negotiated resolution? Nobody outside that prison cell and Obasanjo's inner circle knows with certainty. But what is clear is this. The visit happened, it was productive by their own admission, and the man who sent that delegation does not invest his political capital without expecting a return. Nnamdi Kanu has been in Sokoto for over 8 months. The federal government is pushing for a harsher sentence while simultaneously undermining its own legal case. And now, Nigeria's most seasoned political operator has entered the picture. The question is no longer whether something is about to change. The question is, what will that change cost, who will pay it, and will it be enough? Watch this space closely. The next few days may tell us everything.